point, I call that history. Fuck around and grill a pig like some rotisserie. Give a fuck about who you think you with, don't trust the industry. Why you wanna be my enemy? You should really let me be, cause really you can't fuck with me. Nah, you can't fuck with me, little bitch, and yes, I took my heat. Yes, I love to redo, that made me L-A-M-E or W-I-S-E. My third eye open, I can see, must protect my inner peace. No response, I can't give you my energy. I don't follow trends, cause bitch, I'ma just
Hi, it's Unonia back with another video. We're gonna jump straight into it as we always do.
I hope that everyone is having a beautiful and blessed day today. If not, it's not too late to change that energy back around, switch that energy up, do what you need and what's necessary to basically call your energy back at this time. So today's reading or energy read is going to be for my divine masculines. I kind of wanted to give you guys your own I guess separate you guys energy from the collective. I just felt called to, so we're gonna jump straight into it. One of the first things that I was being called to speak up about was suicide. So I think that suicide may be very prominent in the energy right now with my divine masculines, as far as you guys not necessarily feeling like you want to be here at this time. You don't feel it's not that. It's the type of energy to where you are wanting to take yourself from this world, as in you're going to actually commit the act. It's more so just like the thought process of not really caring whether you lived or died, and also just not caring to be here in this realm, not caring to be in your vessel because of the pressure that is coming with it at this time. There's a lot of things that you are dealing with pertaining towards depression, and also just trying to figure out where you fit in this life. And I feel like I'm talking to a lot of my middle-aged men, my men going up into like their 25 to like 30 era, and some of my younger ones who are coming up out of high school and like college and different things like that. You're going through those shift periods where you kind of trying to figure yourself out, trying to figure who you are out, and trying to separate yourself from the standards of how society basically expect our men to be and to act, and the way that they raise you up to mold you versus who you are to the spirit and to the soul. You know, like it's kind of like figuring out your wrong and right for your soul's growth. It's like you feel like lately you've been having to keep a straight face, or nothing's really been making you kind of like happy, or just in that mode of feeling like there's necessarily something to be grateful for, even though there's always something to be grateful for. But we of course do get in those moments where, you know, you're not necessarily able to see the good things that's right in front of you because of how much bad is impacting you at this time. A lot of you guys could be feeling like your vulnerability is like a weakness, or your vulnerability makes you uncomfortable. It's really hard for you to be able to like open up to others, and I feel like this is stemming from like childhood. And the sirens are going right now, so I take that as like emergency, like that, like it's an emergency when it comes to like your emotional state and being. You've been suppressing it for too long, and I feel like you also are the type that you're just constantly wanting to be alone, to be able to sort throughout your own issues and deal with things the way that you want and that you know how to, because you're not used to someone being able to give you that level-headed advice. I feel like I'm talking to a group of masculines who you're kind of the level-headed one. You're kind of the one who people come to for advice. So it's like when it's time to give that energy back, you don't really have anyone that you feel that you can trust enough to where their guidance will make sense, or their guidance is something that you feel like you can kind of like take lead from, you know. They also wanted me to tap into basically how you guys necessarily grew up. I feel like I'm talking to a lot of masculines as well that grew up in toxic home environments. You had very unstable homes, and I feel like mother wounds is very significant here at this time. Like father father wounds is an issue as well, but mother wounds are prominent here, so that's what we're gonna kind of like tap into. I feel that you could have had a mother who was like, I guess, very dominant, or I could say the dominant one within the household, or it's like she carried a lot of masculine energy within her. And because of this, you know, as a boy growing up, when women carry these type of energies to them, they have a need or a way of belittling their sons without realizing that they're doing it, or without realizing that their words is something that their son is going to carry in here in the back of their minds forever through each and every woman that they deal with. And most of the time you tend to pick and choose women that then reflect how your mother was, you know, in some type of way, shape, form, or fashion. These women are coming through to kind of trigger your mother wound and to get you to see, so that you can then heal these traits about you, you know, because we need our masculines healed. Like, that's something that I preach about the most. Some women kind of tend to think that women who view and think this way are pick-me's, but I don't feel like it's that. I feel like it's more so some of our women are starting to have more compassion for the men. You know, we're starting to see how it's not just the men. Us as women play a major role in part as well, you know, and the division between our woman and man. I feel like that it's time for us to reunite back, and I feel like it's also time for the men to be able to rely on the woman, you know, because at the end of the day, we are who they are supposed to come to for that nurturing, for that mental stability, because I truly do feel that a man cannot 100% do it on his own, you know. I don't know why I feel that way, but I do. I feel like it's the nature law and the way that the universe is. That's that duality, you know, that's needed. The man is to be the protector, I feel. When it comes to the earth realm, he is to protect. He's to physically be able to be there for his woman and protect his woman, and to also provide, to make sure that she has security and everything that she needs. And she then in return, you know, provides that spiritual balance for him and protects him in the spirit realm, because there are things that he cannot see that she can. And also I feel that she is who is the division for him to be able to like fully enter the spirit realm properly. I feel like it's bigger than just a financial thing. We as a whole are struggling financially. We as a whole are needing that structure, because they're suppressing against us. They have us, you know, kind of working these 9 to 5s, and if you don't work a 9 to 5, then you're kind of struggling, trying to figure out a way to make means through your business, through your creativity, through the different things that you're doing to kind of like fund, in order to provide for you, your family, or whoever it is that you need to provide for, in whatever way or shape or form that reflects, you know. So it's no judgment here. That brings me into them also speaking about growing up around like drug addicts, or like some of you guys could have even had I cannot get this out. So maybe some of you guys like don't like talking about this, or it's not something that you prefer to talk about. It's a topic that makes you uncomfortable, but Spirit is also bringing it up for a reason. Parents who are addicted to drugs, and also abusive parents as well. This could be verbally abusive or physically abusive, or a mixture of both. And I know that a lot of times when it comes to our men, they do not see or understand the significance in how you guys were abused too. You know, as a child, an adult hits a little girl with the same amount of force that he hits a little boy, and all hell breaks loose, or it's just like, it's something that's not looked at as something that you should do. But even though some people, you know, still go as far as being worse than that, you know, towards both genders, they're not like kind of biased towards the genders, but we do have some that are biased towards the genders, and they feel like little boys should get it harder, you know. But at the end of the day, you were a child, you know what I mean? So it's still abuse. It's still some form of abuse, whether your belief system that you have kind of molded as you grew up wants to accept that or not. Your subconscious in the brain and the active part of your spirituality, knowing right from wrong, knows and understands that part of your childhood was not right, you know what I mean? So it's like it's a need to not run from it, to confront it, and to then see how it reflects in your today's world, so that you can kind of heal these perspectives and sides to you. The inner child is needing nurturing like really bad at this moment. That's something that Spirit is highlighting as well. Also, for those who have experienced hardship dealing with jail, it was significant about this as well. I was actually shocked that I even channeled or got this, but basically they wanted me to kind of speak about the harsh environments that happens within our prison systems, and the injusticeness as well that tends to happen in our prison systems, especially men and women prison systems. But I feel like for some reason they the males have it a little worse. I don't know, I've never experienced either one. I feel like they're both just as horrific, and it's kind of no comparison when it comes to that. But I feel like it's a spiritual reason behind why they have the men conditions worse than what they would or do have the women's conditions. I feel like those who have experienced jail within a small time frame or even a longer time frame, you because you were locked up and it's like your freedom was taken away, and it's a form of them trying to break the spirit. So to some degree you have trauma impact from this, you know. And I feel like at times some of my men could zone out, you could be zoning out, or it's almost like you deassociate from the fact that you're even out and free. You kind of sometimes feel like you're still back in there. Sorry I'm saying so much. I'm trying to think. I feel like the actual environment as well is something that's a little traumatizing, and just through the things that you may have experienced inside of jail, dealing with injustice and things that you could never get justice from besides waiting on karma, you know. I feel like it's a need to heal these perspectives of you as well. Go to each chapter of your life, and each chapter that you've been through, that you know that you've had some type of experience that you're still holding on to, and little by little release that. And it's not something that's going to happen in 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. It takes years to fully, it takes incarnations, to be able to fully heal the way that our soul needs to, and for our soul to be able to generate the way that it needs to. But it's about understanding this one step at a time. It's about having compassion with yourself as well, and knowing that regardless where you are, as long as you're still a good person at heart and at nature, and you're still doing the things that needs to be done as far as being able to coexist with this world and this universe, then I don't feel like that my men should stress as much as they do and hold so much weight of the perception of how this world views them as well. You guys have to let go of that and stay away from women who make you feel less than because of anything that you do or do not have. The same as women is in all different categories of life and all different walks of life. On our journeys, men are as well, you know what I mean? So it's just find the woman for you, find the woman that vibrates and that aligns with your soul growth and your soul love, and make sure that you're doing the inner work as well, you know what I mean? And also be mindful of projecting. I know sometimes a lot of our men project onto futuristic women due to how past women have done them. So it's a need to make sure that you're healing those wounds from different relationships and things like that, so that you can properly move on into your newer connection and relationships with a better understanding of self, and also the lesson that was needed to be learned at that time, so that you can then know that this next person who you are attracting is not based off of what you past experience, because you've learned from that past experience. You know, it's more so, okay, I've grown, so I now know that divine is sending me someone who is more in alignment with me for this time being, or for futuristic time being, however that plays out for that soul contract. There's a need for you guys to open up more. Of course, with time that comes, but just go to someone that you feel like you trust enough to be able to let some of these emotions out, and don't feel like, I know a lot of times my man may tend to feel like a burden on others whenever you do begin to express yourself, or whatever the case is. You feel like you're not heard, or it's like it's no need to open up because you won't be heard. If you feel like this, and if you don't really have anybody around you that you feel again would be level-headed enough to give you that comfort that you need, right? Vent to yourself, burn that's me trying to think. Burn it after you finish writing, you know what I mean? Like, do what's necessary and what you can for your soul. Start to love yourself more, pour more love into yourself as well, my man. We have to do more self-love affirmations, because you are love. Y'all are love. I love all my black men. I love all my men in general. Like, not just my black men. I shouted them out because, you know, that's my culture, that's my race, and I feel like we have to stand up for each other a lot more. Also, they wanted to tap into finances a little more, like I was tapping into a little earlier. It's like, when it comes to your finances, you feel like if you're not where you need to be financially, then you can't enjoy the small things in life, that you can't enjoy the small connections in life as well. But that's not the truth nor the case. It's like a lot of times spirit will kind of like snatch or take that from you, for you then to know for one, who's in your circle, who's really for you, and who genuinely loves you for you versus what you have. And also for you to be able to find the value within yourself, not based on a certain number that's within your bank account. And I feel like a lot of times that's the lesson needed to be learned when it comes to men and them going through financial hardship, is for one, get the people from around you that's around you. Most of the time they're who are ciphering and blocking your finances in some way, form, or degree, because again, you're raised up to kind of naturally be that provider, so you naturally want to take care of the ones and the people around you, and meanwhile they don't have your best interests at heart, so it's kind of like draining you in the process. And sometimes it's due to certain patterns and behaviors that you may have of not wanting to necessarily do what it takes to be responsible enough to, you know, have that financial ability that you need for yourself. So it's like, take it how it applies to you. Have to understand and know and realize, and say every day, affirm to yourself every day, if you have to start doing more root chakra affirmations, you are exactly where you need to be, you know. So I feel like that's all that I have for you guys today. I thank those who have listened this far. Again, you are loved. I thank all of my subscribers. Don't forget to like, give a thumbs up. Love and light.
In the atmosphere, I can feel the envy. I can't sell my soul, no. See, I'd rather let you kill me, but I can never die. No, not really, only physically. I've been through a lot, but I can't let none of that get to me. Because if I do, then I am being my own enemy. I educate the youth and I am nothing like celebrities. I can't break the law that's breaking me, that's what you tell us. For the system, I'ma say that shit 1,000 times. That shit is sickening, they done told us like 10,000 lies. We wanted shit, cause they still sleep, then they act so surprised. When the truth come out before their eyes, I'm still don't recognize. When you speak the truth, you put your life up on the line. And if you don't, cause you say that you living in a lie. I'm speaking fast, this ain't just rap, see I just make it rhyme. Falling off my purpose, it ain't worth it. I did that many times.